Hey folks, my name is Pravus, and welcome to The Tribe Must Survive. This is a new tribal management game where, you will be gathering up resources and advancing your tribe to ensure their survival. But here's the catch. There is something, or some things, lurking in the dark of night, and they're out to get ya. Don't leave the protection of the light. Whatever you do, if you value your life, never let the light go out. This game is going to be entering early access starting on February 22nd, though there also is a free Steam Next Fest demo running from February 5th to the 12th. Of course, I've got even earlier access than all of that, and that's because today's video is sponsored by the publisher, and a very big thank you to them for that. If as you watch this video, you find yourself intrigued and you want to learn more, or maybe try out the demo for yourself, you can find a link in the description down below. For now, though, let's go ahead and get started and see if I can survive. I do not expect to survive, for whatever it is worth, but I will do my darndest. So welcome to our humble fire and our protective ring of light. The first thing we need to do is go ahead and build up a stockpile where we can store most of our goods. That's going to include some wood and some stone, eventually some medicines, other useful resources, and so on. Now, if we're going to have a stockpile, I need to fill it up with some lumber, the most important resource in the game. So let's go ahead and start by placing down a couple of lumber camps nearby, and my people are automatically going to go ahead and start working in those jobs and gathering up some lumber, tossing it into the pile. You need lumber for not only construction, but also to feed the fire. Right now, it is consuming 2 wood per hour. If this ever runs out during night, you're in trouble, and your people will vanish into the darkness, never to be seen again. Alright, with that taken care of, the next thing we're going to need is going to be a granary. Now, the light is coming, so I'm okay with extinguishing my fire by clicking this button or simply hitting the F key, and save myself a little bit of wood. Let's construct a granary, also costing 50 wood. I want to place this nearby so I can make sure everyone's able to get food without any problem. And then, we need to fill this up with, some food. So the next thing to do is place down a simple hunter's hall. We can do one right over here, for example. And that means one of our people who is unemployed is automatically going to be assigned as a hunter, looking for some animals to kill and bring back their carcass that we can eat. We are simple cavemen, after all. Next thing we're going to need is a tent. We can place this down, let's say, over here. It's going to cost me 20 wood, which is a bit dangerous. We do not want to spend any more of our wood right now because night is approaching very quickly, and I wanted to stockpile up some wood. I just wanted to give people a place where they will be able to sleep and regenerate themselves a little bit. Now, why is that a concern for me? Well, if I click on this person over here, we can see that all of our colonists, or tribals, are going to have different personality traits, some different opinions of different factions within the tribe, and yes, they can fight each other, and also fear. This is currently going up. As long as they stay away from the safety of the fire and the tribe, fear will go up, but when they're around the fire, it's going to go down. They also have discontent, which can lead to riots if it ever gets too high, and then they also need to meet food, sleep, social, and spiritual requirements. That's why I want to have at least one of these tents up and running. Now, night is approaching. It is dusk. I do not want my hunters out in the dark, so I'm going to sound the night horn. And that tells everyone, hey, head back to the safety of the fire, which, by the way, let's go ahead and turn back on. Now we are burning through some of that wood. Again, do not ever let yourself run out of wood. It is okay to overproduce on lumber if you need to, so keep that in mind. Now, as long as people are working somewhat close to the fire, they'll sometimes still go out and work, as you can see right now, which is great in the sense that we're keeping our wood producing right now. However, as long as they're away from the fire itself, their fear continues to go up. So this isn't always a wonderful thing for you. You've got to pay attention to it. Let's go ahead and place down a second tent right now. That increases our housing capacity, which means more people can now start joining our tribe, and I would like that. And that ends the tutorial. Very brief, very straightforward. Let's go ahead and continue getting myself a couple more lumber camps, spreading these out amongst some of the different forests, making sure that we have plenty of trees to chop down. And that should take care of all of my unemployed citizens, at least for now. I'm going to start stockpiling way more firewood than I need. That's fine, though. I'll need it later. Now I feel good about getting myself a stone pit. Let's place that there. And as more people join the tribe, they'll start working over here. We can have 2 people currently employed. One thing that can make your life a little bit easier to make sure you don't ever have your hunters or anyone else far out in the darkness before nighttime is you can turn on the automatic night horn. So you can set the hours that this is going to go off, and you'll have to adjust this the further people get away. But this encourages them, hey, you know, it's dust time, and the player was stupid and forgot to click the button, but we'll just sound this automatically and make sure everyone gets back to the center. Ah, we've got our first event. This does seem to be somewhat randomized. There's no particular rhyme or reason as to when these happen, and they can be very impactful. A group of strangers approaches the camp. They saw our fire. Strength in numbers, stability goes down, or we don't trust strangers. So stability, I think, is important as far as your social cohesion, which is something we will not touch, at least in the very beginning of the game, but will be important later. As much as I would like the extra people, I don't know how difficult it is to get stability back up. So I would say no. I'm going to say no to that and trust that is the right long-term play. But we can see right over here what the stability does. So this went up by 1, which means that people's discontent is going to be a little bit improved. Tolerance is also going to be important at some point. Now, we already know that our people have some various different needs, right? So one thing I'll go ahead and do is place down a spirit lodge, and we'll place this kind of close to the camp, ideally. So let's say right around here. This is a place where we will be able to conduct some rituals and satisfy spiritual needs. I recommend doing this at night if you can, though some people might need their beauty sleep. If we have medicine, and there are 3 different kinds to use, red, yellow, and green, then we will also be able to start building up some spiritual progress. What is that? I actually don't totally know, but if I click on this button right here, we can see spiritual aspects. And depending on how we spend some relics, it would appear that there is something to do here that is going to deviate whether we are disciples of the beast or servants of the shepherd, or eventually, it looks like there's going to be another tree here for children of the mother, which seems a little bit creepy. Kinda cool, maybe even a little bit Lovecraftian, I don't know. So we'll go ahead and click this button right here to start a ritual so people can get over here and get ready to do a little bit of happy dancing. There we go! Very ritualistic! Yes, dance, my little cavemen, dance! They like dancing for a very long time, by the way, for like half of a day. It's not something you want to do necessarily every single day. Anyway, we have one unassigned tribe member. What do we want to do next? Well, we could secure some more food, but I feel pretty good about that. What I'd rather do instead is place down an explorer's platform. We can do that, let's say, right over here. That's fine. So somebody is going to get assigned over here, and we can start a journey and start discovering different parts of the world where we might be able to get some outposts. So where do we want to go? Let's just say we want to go due north. I'm going to make sure that we set aside a bit of wood. 10 or 12 could be good, and let's just do 12 food. I think that's going to be fine. We're going to assign one person for now. That'll be our explorer Amaroro over here. There we go. And start our journey. If I zoom way out over here, you can see there are going to be a bunch of different hexes representing different parts of the world. Again, surrounded in darkness. It's going to take a little bit before we can claim any of this territory, but I figure everything starts with exploration. So if we can, let's do it. Now, while that guy's exploring, the next person available is currently going to be joining up at the Explorer's platform, so we always have someone employed, and what they're going to do is try to explore the dark around the camp. This is arguably a more important thing we can do, because I need to find some other resources, especially wouldn't mind finding some sort of medicine that we can take advantage of. I do have a couple of spare workers available right now, and a lot of wood. So tell you what, the next thing we will do once I extinguish the fire is we're going to go ahead and place down a crop farm. We can place one of these, let's say, right around over, I guess here is probably fine. And then you surround this with some crop fields, which costs a fair bit of wood. But in doing so, our farmer is going to be able to plant down some seeds, eventually this grows, and we'll be able to harvest it and bring it back for a lot of extra stable food. This is a great way of supplementing your hunting, while also keeping the food relatively close to the fire. Unfortunately, somebody is currently in shock. It's usually going to be your hunters. Yeah, we can see that right here, actually. His fear got a little bit too high. Now he's kind of catatonic. This is only going to go down if he stays near a lit fire, including during the day. So if you don't want this guy to basically die of starvation, you now have to set the fire and keep it lit, which is one reason you want to be overproducing your wood as much as possible. Our explorer has run into an event. All right, without realizing how, we come across a broken stone gate decorated with images of what looks like the people of the ancient times. These guys aren't ancient enough? All right. We have a terrible feeling we've seen the gate before, but we cannot remember where. It seems to lead underground, but the interior is so dark it's impossible to see what's there. Do we enter the gate? There's a chance we gain some wood and some food. Chance bad things are going to happen, including the death of our explorer. Or, of course, we could just turn around, and if I had brought some stone along, we actually could have built this back up to get a relic. Didn't realize that was going to be a thing. Let's try entering the gates, all right? And we got some stuff. Do we then go further? Littered with skeletal bodies, their backpacks are full of supplies. Nope, that means we should go ahead and turn around, I believe. Yep. Just go ahead and leave. If there's a lot of bodies around, and whatever killed them did not take their supplies, bad things are ahead. I'm not saying that because I have some sort of knowledge of this game, by the way. I'm just assuming that. That's my gamer instincts. Now, you might be wondering, is it possible to extend the reach of the fire? Yes, it actually is. We could increase the radius of the fire, and it's going to cost us a lot of extra wood for doing that. Or we could go ahead and place down things like some beacons. This is going to cost me some stone, but if I place it, let's say, over in this direction, close to our lumber, for example, right, over here, this is going to start costing me some lumber per hour, but we've extended the light radius a bit, which can be useful for keeping people's fear down and also working during the night. Filling crops, our farmer discovered that one of the plants in the field is yielding exceptionally large and sweet corn cobs. Do we give it out as extra food, or do we say we're going to just try to hold out and use them as seeds for even better food generation? Yes, I think that is the right way to go. An eclipse will hit us in 5 days. Prepare. What does that mean? Well, you might have already guessed. It means that the sun will be blotted out. And even though it's not nighttime, there will be no light for several days. Which means if we have not stockpiled enough wood to keep the fires lit that entire time, we're in trouble, and the dark is gonna get us. Now, I've currently got more tribal workers than I really know what to do with, aside from maybe placing down some extra lumber huts, which means we're kind of deforesting the region very rapidly, but it's better to have them do something than nothing, am I right? I've also got a few people that are currently working on some exploration. And that just finally paid off, because I think we might be finding something over here. A new resource has been discovered. Now, this, to me, looks like a place where we can start getting ourselves some green medicine. So if I want to place down a green medicine farm, let's say right here, I don't have anyone currently available to work it, but they'll be able to start getting me something a little bit better, which I'll then be able to use at our spirit lodge once I have some, and that means we'll be able to start making some progress toward a spiritual aspect. A wanderer arrives. A strange man arrives at the camp. He is a full head taller and looks much stronger than any of our tribe members. His ragged hair and beard melt in with his huge mammoth fur gown, giving him the appearance of a giant bear. The man looks fiercely from left to right as our tribe members approach him. They lock eyes with him, and the feral expression in his face turns to a calm, steady stare. I am here to take something from you, he growls in a strange accent. Not as a robber. Today I am not more than a beggar in urgent need of help. I cannot say, but I will return in 3 days to take 50 stone. I can offer you nothing else. Will you help? Sure, I am curious what's going to happen. In 3 days, I feel like we should be able to get up to 50 stone. Hey, I think we also just discovered some yellow medicine over here. Well, that's just grand. All right, I don't think I need this many people currently exploring, and honestly, the more people exploring far from the fire, potentially the worse that's going to be. But I don't mind having them work far enough away. Oh, wait, I'm not going to get very much stone. Well, we can start getting some yellow medicine produced. I feel like something is going to be good there. I feel like tonight might be a good time to go ahead and do a little bit of rituals using some green medicine. A couple people are currently in the dark. Yeah, we may need to consider also calling the horn a little bit earlier by, let's say, an hour, which could be a bit difficult, but oh well. The eclipse will hit us in about a day. We don't have a lot of time to get that stone back up, but let's just go ahead and have everyone do a really nice, happy spiritual dance, use up a bit of that green medicine, which I don't even want to know what that green medicine does exactly. I'm suspect about it, though. Broken by knowledge, the wanderer approaches. Right, so he asked for shelter in exchange for knowledge, recognized from a previous life. He says they are a brilliant spiritualist whose fragile mind also caused them to do horrible things. The stranger begs to be allowed back in. Do not trust them or join us. What's past is past. I don't feel like it is worth losing the stability, so we have to say, no, we do not trust you. Now the ritual is done over here, by the way. Let's click on the spiritual aspect, and we can see we got 18 out of 50 progress towards the disciples of the beast. And right now, we don't need any relics, but at some point, we will. The Wanderer returns, and we barely had the 50 stone required. All right, he returns. He rushes to the fire, the bright flames reflecting in his black eyes. As he sees the makeshift crate full of stone that we prepared for him, he slows down with a sigh of relief, growls, "You did it! This should give her a chance. You will not regret helping me. I will see to that." He reaches down to us, and in the palm of his giant hand, we briefly see a strange runestone just before it bursts into a cloud of green light and sparks. Without another word, he lifts the massive crate on his shoulder and disappears into the forest. We make a lot of progress towards the disciples of the beast. Okay, so now we can pick an upgrade. I like that idea. Live and let live. Tolerance can go up, or music and play, openness to experience, is going to go up. I don't know what the openness does, so I'm going to assume that what I want to do then is go ahead and grab this. Less fear can only be a good thing. Actually, yeah, it's passively a -20 base fear. Oh, that's great, actually. Perfect. All right, well, the eclipse is about to hit. The sun has disappeared, and a strange mist is building up around us. The light of the fire protects us, but there's something in the dark waiting for our flame to shrink. Stay close to the light! Everyone's about to be very scared. If they go into the dark, they die. It really is going to be that simple. Now, none of my people have died from the dark yet. I've spared you from that fate. My first test game, I didn't understand the importance of the wood for a while, and yeah, people just started getting yoinked into the dark. It just was happening, and by the time I got to my first eclipse, everyone but one person died. It was rather horrifying. But this is the first real test. If you were not prepared, if you did not have a lot of wood stocked up, you'd be dead right now. It does kind of feel like this is a great time to do some spiritual dancing, though. Everyone go take some green medicine and do a little bit of dancing. Yes, everyone in the tribe, everyone is dancing. You don't scare me, Dark Fog. I lie, you terrify me. And that's actually one of the reasons I think this game is kind of cool. Not only is it somewhat of a puzzle as far as making your tribe survive and continue to advance, but the whole point is that it's preying on the most primal fear, the fear of the dark.
Oh, but Pravus, I'm a big boy. I'm not scared of the dark.
Well, maybe you should be. And the eclipse has passed. We see the moon finally pierce through the darkness as the mist around us disappears. The long night has ended, but the horrors are still out there. We must prepare for what's ahead. All right. It is a new morning, and things are about to change. We are now entering into Act 2, Progress. Even though we survived the eclipse and I didn't lose a single person, which is amazing, we soon realized that what got us here won't get us any further. Struggling to satisfy even our most basic needs won't be enough. Survival is a race between progress and disaster, and we need to stay ahead. So there are some new perks that are going to be happening here. Social need is going to be increasing, right? Spiritual need is going to increase. But also, we make more spiritual progress. Buildings are cheap to upgrade, and so on. And also, crops are even better. And we get access to the Tinkery, a place where we can produce research points. Now, that sounds like something I would like to have. Now, you might be wondering, what are you going to do with these research points? Well, kind of like the spiritual aspects, there's another way to advance your tribe shown with the building upgrades over here. So, for example, if I would like to boost up my lumber camp production time, we could do that. It would spend a bit of resources plus some of the research points, but it would reduce the production time by 50%. We could also boost up a hunter's haul, right? I don't really need to do that, but it's a thing that we could do. I just spent my stuff here on the stone pit workers. I wasn't actually planning on doing that, but there we go. So now we can have extra people working in the stone pits. And we'll also hopefully be able to get more production as an arrangement, which could be kind of helpful. The Tinkery is actually what I was going to go for, because this boosts up my research by a further 10%. But okay, more stone just means I can get, more of the Tinkers. Looks like we have a new threat approaching us. A flood. It's gonna drown our lands. Ooh, the story of death and despair. This is not related, but also scary. A story about a horrible disaster is spreading amongst our people. The world will be shattered and drowned in blood. As the truth is revealed, we will all fall to madness and death, they say. Our more neurotic tribe members are already falling into fear and hysteria if we let it go. Who knows what they'll do? We could say they calm down eventually, but 5 people get 75 fear. Medicine to ease their nerves, or, of course, spend some influence. I'm not really using the influence right now. I'll go ahead and just burn some of that instead. I'd rather everyone do some dancing. Oh, wait, but someone just got taken by... I forgot to turn on the fire! Oh, that was a mistake. Two people just got stolen by the darkness because I forgot to hit the F button to get this. So press F to pay respects for the people who died due to my own stupidity. That's great. So, flood is on the way. We could place down some flood barriers, which is going to stop flood water from spreading and act as a walkway. I don't know what this means. I probably won't know until the flood begins. And here comes the flood. Dark clouds gather above us, bringing with them a rain more intense than ever before. Our flames struggle to keep lit, and the ever-growing flood threatens our survival. We must not let it claim our homes. All right, we're going to be getting flooded. Discontent is going to go up the more people are in the water. Light buildings range are going to go down a lot. That's a small problem. And then let's see, light buildings become inactive in the medium and high waters, and also production time goes up. So basically everything is looking kind of awful. So what you're saying is we need to place down some of these flood barriers, kind of like this, I guess, prevent the water from spreading any further. Do something similar over here, I guess. And then kind of keep an eye on the water. I can't place it on buildings I've already got down is the thing. So what else am I supposed to do then with these flood barriers? I don't rightly know. But the flood is going to last a long time. Oh my. Good news is I have a lot of wood and a fair bit of stone put together. So I'm hoping that we have enough to be okay. The reduced radius of the light is actually pretty bad. It's going to hinder my ability to work during the night dramatically. Still, I'm placing down some of these barriers because I'm going to assume that the floodwaters will continue to grow. We'll keep an eye out for that, but I'm hoping that the barriers kind of prevent it from growing any further in directions that I don't want. Whoa, the flood is rising. Okay, hold on. I just tried to place down more barriers, and it looks like the water spread regardless. So I don't think that actually did us a lot of good. So what I'm guessing is that we need to be placing these barriers down in a bunch of places. And it certainly seems like once it gets to a certain threshold, people are... I can't even place down a barrier here if I wanted to. Well, that's frustrating. But we can at least have nice, clear walkways for everybody so that they're able to do their jobs regardless, I hope. My hope really is that there's going to be a way to prevent this from spreading and drowning my base. Because I've got a bad feeling, all right, that as this continues to build up, we're going to find that our entire tribe is flooded. This is expensive, but it might be worth doing. I'm going to go ahead and entirely encircle my tribe with these barriers. People can still go and do work even in the flooded areas. It's just very, very slow, and it's dramatically cutting production. But still... I'm expecting the water levels to rise again any second, and I'm hoping that I've effectively, yep, there we go, created a dam. The flood gets even worse. Stay on dry land. Oh, and the flood has brought something terrible with it, a deadly presence lurking beneath the surface. A hunter just disappeared. Oh my, people were taken by the waters. I lost at least 2. It's too dangerous to hunt. Something lurks in the shadows. Right, let's try calming them down. I would like for people not to go into the water anymore. Can you do that? Nope. Okay, a lot of people are now going into complete and utter shock. They're terrified. That said, we've been blessed by the rain, apparently. Some of the toads we are farming have reacted strangely to the flood and the rainwater. They're growing bigger and more bulbous than before, producing a thick slime. They want to use it as a powerful stimulant. A greater toad. The need for spirituality goes up by a lot. But movement time is reduced and productivity goes up. So, caffeine, huh? I suppose we can try doing this to have more dances. Speaking of which, anyone want to dance? No, please, people, stop going into the waters. Don't go into the waters. We're going to turn off some jobs that are far away at this point. Forget it. I don't know what you guys are doing. Don't go into the water. It's a terrible place to be. And actually, with 13 people in shock, I guess there's not much point in doing any dancing right now. Oh boy. Yeah, this is a problem. Do I need to go through and manually turn off like every building? Because I obviously would not like for people to go and work in places where they're going to be taken by the waters. That person just got taken by the waters. I just watched it happen right over there. That guy just went fweep, gone, bye. Sploosh. Right. Yeah, I'm turning off a bunch of jobs. This is gonna get to be a problem because I'm not gonna be producing any lumber. But it's better than having everyone die. I only have to survive for like one more day anyway. I should have enough lumber to do exactly that as long as everyone stays right here. They're all in shock anyway. What are they gonna do? Ooh, tents are starting to leak under the heavy rain. The water soaks everything. It's getting harder to fall asleep. Reinforce the tents for 150 wood. Or tent sleeping time sucks. Oh gosh, we've got to try. I think I still have barely enough lumber to make this work. Again, we've just got to survive for one more day. But everyone is in so much shock right now that they're not taking care of themselves, and they're all starving to death. And now finally the flood is beginning to end. The rains have stopped. The floods are receding. Excellent. All right, now I think we go ahead and turn everything back on. Although first, I think a celebratory dance is in order. So, this begins Act 3, Emergence. We didn't worry about the groups that formed within the tribe. We even welcomed the impact they had, but us ignoring them was like a drowning man ignoring the rising waters. The darkest shadows might not be the ones surrounding us, but the ones that grow within. Now people have short tempers and they can start building up riots. Their spiritual needs actually appear to be going up even further. That sucks. Journey area exploration, the need to talk for more social interactions. Opinion from interactions can be good between factions, that's good, and a sense of purpose. Philosophy. We haven't had to worry about philosophy yet. That is another way of advancing the tribe. We've got improvement, control, protection, and freedom. Which ones can we use? How do we build this up? I don't actually know yet, but I assume the choices we make are going to determine what kind of society we create. Honestly, this is a very cool idea for a game, a tribal survival horror game. Not something you would expect, but like I said, everyone at the end of the day, from the earliest dawn of man, is afraid of what lurks in the dark, and this game is all about playing on that fear. Unfortunately, I think I have to end things here, so thank you very much for watching, and thank you again to the publisher for sponsoring today's video. Again, if you guys like what you saw as you watched this video and you want to learn more about the game, maybe give it a wish list, or try out the free demo during the Steam Next Fest, there will be that link in the description down below. Other than that, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.